Now hitting on the camera setup, both the 12.9-inch model and the 11-inch model, like I mentioned before, have the same thing going on, the single 12 megapixel lenses. You can go up to 4K at 60 on that specific lens, which again, this thing came out in, 2018. This is a really strong asset for this type of device. I've actually shot some videos on this specific iPad. I think some of my battery comparisons that I did when I'm just quickly kind of filming something, I actually used my iPad because it was the only other device I wasn't using at that time that had a really decent camera. This thing is pretty much almost like an iPhone XR camera on the back, and I think that's an awesome thing that this thing has going for it. The fact that not that many people even use iPad cameras, that's kind of a huge thing you have to keep in mind. But in my case, sometimes when all my good phones are being taken care of and I only have like an iPhone 5 that's laying around or something, I like having the ability of remembering that I have my iPad Pro, that just in case I'm using all my devices, I still have a very strong, camera that I can go ahead and use and film in if I need to go up to 4K 60, which I never do. But having that ability makes it that much better, and it's actually a really good lens, as I mentioned before. On the front, it's still a 7 megapixel sensor. Now, you can only do 1080p at 30 on the front camera, which I think is plenty enough for a lot of people. I don't think anybody's doing any like front camera, video recording on their iPad. I think most people end up using their iPads as like a teleprompter or something like that. But in my case, having this iPad as something like a FaceTime machine, or just kind of, doing Google Meets or Zoom calls or whatever, this iPad, this is the area where it kills it in. This is another really strong asset for it. It would have been really cool if we had like 1080p at 60 on the front or 4K on the front, but I still think 1080p at 30 is more than enough for a lot of people. And even in my case, I don't use my iPad camera. I don't really shoot too much stuff on my iPad or iPhone or anything like that, but I like having the ability of doing so if I need to. So the back camera, perfect for me. I really don't expect it to be that much better for the iPad Pro 5th Gen. I'm totally content with it. The front camera could, have some improvements here and there, but I still think it's a very solid lens for both the front and the back. Now moving